Hello there.
Let's try that, see if that helps at all. Alright, so let's just see where we go. I'm not saying a whole lot at the moment, but I think my microphone or camera was being stupid. Let's see if we've got... Face cam's not doing anything, which is where it should be. Yeah, I know what it is. It's the microphone on the overhead cam for the layout on the table was a little bit bright. And my key light today has got me crazy overlit, but you know, life happens. Alright, let's nudge this one up. Or, okay. There we go. Take that. We're gonna have a bit of a strange set of lighting today because my camera seems to be being a bit of a pill. So we're just gonna work with it. So you can see in the top left corner what we're aiming for. It's a small fairy tale book, which we are starting with this piece built already. That's what we did last week. And this week we are continuing on. Now I don't normally use the trays, but I will be today simply because, pardon me, after doing the work last week, I had to clean up the desk. So we need to put things away. And I should not have used white ones, but that's okay. We're here. So we've got ourselves the book made at the bottom. Now let's turn the page. Bring. So where we go to from here. that not that far. 19, 20 jumps us all the way over here. So let's take a look at that and get a move on with it. These 4 corners. Oops, excuse my reach. Oh, wow. Serious overcompensation lights. Jeepers creepers. Okay, let me just shut off the white, the auto exposure thing, because that's just being stupid. I'm gonna drop this down. Okay. Not ideal, but it'll do the trick. Okay, we'll go with that. So, we got the corners, sticking on. The aim, oh boy. The aim for this one is actually going to be a cute little storybook. Referencing Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. In the meantime, though, what have you guys all been up to? I was silly and did an almost all-nighter last night. I would have if I hadn't fallen asleep on the couch watching. Well, wasn't actually watching. Was rebuilding a kelp farm in Minecraft, and it still doesn't work quite the right way I want. But you know, I'm getting a little frustrated with it, so I'm just gonna let her be, if you know. All right, so this one, and then we've got some little teeny tiny corners, which would be gold. Okay, now this is what caught me up the last time. In the picture, to me, they look brown, but you can agree that they are certainly... Okay, that looks kind of brown on screen. Yeah.
Welcome.
Whoa. What we need? White balance, you can come back. Thank you. So, right. Got some gold pieces. There, you can see the glint. That's the key. And those go on the corners as well. Ego this morning has just switched. We're talking about 2 characters from the Matrix. And this is not to pop quiz me, it's just for conversation purposes. So that also follows through then with verbally. What was, if you saw the Matrix, whether you liked it or not, what was your favorite character and why? And Tank. What makes you remember each of those? Yep, Fantastic Sherlock Fox has a couple of neat builds himself in the wings. But the slot I was pushing him for to try and do a stream weekend has been filled, so he's off the hook. Lucky Fox. And I have not got any idea what I'm doing for the Dadcraft stream weekend next. No, I'm gonna be that person. I hate doing it, but sometimes you gotta. So we've gotten to the second part of 21, and now we're on to 22, which is adding a little wood stool, or not wood stool, cut log edge. There we are. What's it on top of? Pill scene and the slow motion bullets. Yeah, that's what a lot of people remember about the Matrix. The original Matrix itself did really good, or really well with bullet time. That concept that they've started calling bullet time. By having super high speed cameras and slowing everything down. And the thing about it is that the characters were actually, they tried to, what I understand, tried to actually do it real time. And what I mean by that is, like, film it and then have the characters just be that fast. But unfortunately, they discovered that, for one, Keanu Reeves isn't that physically flexible, so he wasn't actually able to bend as much as they wanted. So there is him on wires for that one. But they really did go that fast. Just they put him on wires so that he could actually successfully lean back further. And I had it right the first time. I'm so used to scrolling my instruction pages that I actually reached for my mouse and tried to scroll the page. Smart. Okay, this one we have a couple of reeds of sort. One. I liked the characters once they got past how they got Neo's character woke up. So the red pill, blue pill thing. Or like when the computer was talking to him at the beginning. Yeah. That was kind of unbelievable. Not about the computer per se, but Keanu Reeves doesn't do... I'm pressing too hard. Doesn't do those types of characters very well. I'm expecting these things to like snap on with more of a thud or a thunk of sorts, but these ones don't, and it felt like they weren't on securely, so I went to push them down and they're not. They don't go any more secure than that. Alright, the center bit. This one. 2, 3. There we go. Something that revolves. Excellent. So we have that geek out. New one has become 2 comic book characters whose names start with Z. Z. Okay. 2, 3. We have little flowers. It's nice and small. What do I do about that? Bring this up a little better. Oh, I have more desks than I thought I did. Okay. We can get even closer. Yay! That's one of the nice parts about this particular build. Closer. Okay. Not much, but a bit. Alright, so these, what have we got? A dark green, an orange flower, Zerg. There you go. And what do you remember Zerg from? Because name sounds familiar for Toy Story, I believe. I'm trying to remember what else he'd be from in the comic books. I guess he was in the comics in Toy Story as well, I suppose. Funny, some of these questions are really easy to answer, and some of them makes you really think. Last one is red. Oh, pink. Okay. Turn the page. I think in the movies they do talk about there having been comic books with Zerg in them, so I'm gonna go with that. It'll work. If we don't get any more answers, it'll be extra valid. Alright, so we need another log piece in the center. Z is a tough one. Okay, so let's set this aside for just a moment on the table. We've got a pink teapot. Right on the edge. A red mug. The thing about these builds is once you get on a roll, they just start coming together quite quickly, so we'll have to see what we can do with these. What was that? Is that a gold stud of some sort? Oh, nope. 10. Then we have a series of pastries, which is lovely to see. Cookies, I guess? Got a cookie over by the teapot. And waffle over by the other mug. Apparently goes places. And then a heart-shaped design cookie over there. And we have a croissant. Come on. Croissant, please. Into that one? Nope. Excuse me. But after that, we've got a clear mug, or well, translucent mug. Oh, that's a donut, not a mug. This one. Separator. It's dark. There. Here. Donut over there. Have pie. Where'd the pie go? There it is. And one more pink mug. Okay, so I'll give you a bit of a closer look on that one. We've got all the little bits and bobs for a tea party. Looks like a lot of fun, actually. And then that attaches to the center of the build we have so far. Can I do it? Okay. Because today... Really? Nope, there we go. Okay, that feels solid. We now have a stack of pastries for the center, so let's do those upright. Full. Yellow custard section. Oh, they're offsetting it, okay. Now what do we have? Looks like a donut. These are really quite tiny. Swirly thing. I'm assuming it's like a cupcake of some sort or other. And then, I don't know, frost type peddler. And strawberry something. Strawberry, I suppose. Alright. Set that one aside. And round 2. It appears to be lined up at the bottom. Not quite sure why. And this time we have ourselves a donut. Another frost cupcake, but a different top design. It's a bit of a... So one is a very swirly top. And then the other one is more of a crisscross crosshatch sort of thing. There we go. Alright, so then 2, 3, oh, I want another donut on this far side. And a little pink cake. Lots of tiny stuff. Might be difficult if someone had larger hands than mine. I know Fantastic Sherlock Fox has fairly slim fingers, and mine are not slim, but his, he might have a challenge with it if it were him, just because he's got a fairly large set of hands. So the fingertips and thumb tips and stuff are notably a little bit larger than mine. Okay. There's the bottom. I have to orient it right, I suppose. Frost, almost going with the pink. Come on. That. And then they're capping it with Professor Zoom from the Flash comics. Good. Excellent. Capping it with a little white single stud. I assume they're not supposed to touch. Realism gets lost if they do. There. And that supposedly goes down the center. I'm not sure that's gonna work. Come on. It feels a little bit, I was gonna say a bit flimsy, but that's not quite the word. There we go. So we have our Tower of Desserts down the center. Rotate it a bit more compared to the cake. Or the cream pie, I suppose. That goes in the center, and then they appear to be adding something. Oh, rabbit. Rabbit. This is one of the cutest rabbits I've ever seen in LEGO. And adorable. Delightful and adorable. I'd go visit that party. Okay, so Geek Out has rolled. We're into the aughts with movies, 3 films, with Julia Roberts appearing in them. Pretty Woman. Let's get that out of the way. We don't have to worry about it. We have ourselves the Mad Tea Party, Mad Hatter's hat. Love the little purple top hat we've got going. Which direction do they want that? Excuse me just a second. Looks like they want the Mad Hatter to be facing the party, so I'm assuming it's this direction. 1, 2, and 1 over. In there. And I don't know if I have the buckle etiquette going correctly, because it doesn't seem to have a front or a back. Now, you've got... Oops. Exposure, you suck. Overexposing things? Yeah. White, fell down. Alright, so now we've got some arches. Not sure you know who that is. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Julia Roberts. Every once in a while, depending on what the context is, sometimes I get Julia Roberts mixed up with Sandra Bullock, which is not helpful. So in this case, I was about to say Practical Magic, but no, that's a Sandra Bullock piece as well. Other than Pretty Woman, I can't seem to think of one. Fantastic Sherlock Fox might be able to think of one or two, but not me. but time, right? Because the White Rabbit was complaining about being very late and he's lost his pocket watch. Because time is incredibly important to that guy. And oddly enough, they have two separate pieces and I got the wrong one. That one's better. There's a very minor difference between the two pieces. I'll show you really quickly what the difference is, actually. Let's pull this off. The brick separator to show. So, you can sort of see from an angle that the one on the left, maybe from above might be easier. The one on the left is actually the piece they were asking for, but it sticks out a little bit more than the one on the right. But the two pieces are very similar otherwise, and I just had trouble getting the correct one. The clock wouldn't stick on the recessed one. Please. Wow. More or less, I think I got it. Okay, and then we need a leaf. Brown piece that caused me so much headache last week. Now I know where it goes. Until I understood the difference between the gold and the brown in here, I thought that I had missed a bunch of pieces, but it turns out I was wrong. So yeah, there we go. All right, now that one connects on here, I think. Oh, nope, turn the book. Next page. Yep. Yeah, unless I had an extra stud. Well, exactly. It wouldn't have worked unless I had an extra stud to work with. Okay, we got... I think we're in the light browns? Hard to tell. These colors, I mean, it's not just you guys. It's really also me. But now they're asking for the piece we just talked about. And I think we're on the same one? Okay, yeah. They have two wedges, one in brown, it's like medium brown, and one's dark brown. But the way the printing comes out and the lighting in the room, it's really difficult to see which is which. So I'm hoping I've got it correct. We'll wing it and see what happens. Loose red flower, huh? No. Oh, it's not a flower. It's not a flower. It is one of the world's cutest ladybugs. It's still hard to get to focus. There we go. Oh, no. Well, whatever. It wants to focus down here. Okay, you can't see the bug too easily. Anyways, ladybug. He's climbing up our tree. And for those of you that didn't hear, this was a gift with purchase that, in Canada at least, was exclusive to the bookstore chapters or Indigo. And I don't know if they had it where they would have had it in the US, because of course the US doesn't have chapters in Indigo. So Fantastic Shockbox had a fun time trying to make sure that he could find enough stuff at that store to make it worth the money. But he knew that both he and I would actually enjoy this set quite a lot, so we did not want to pass it up. Normally we don't like buying Lego at the bookstore because it's kind of a silly place to buy it. Like, the price is just a little silly. They're not expensive, dreadfully so compared to other places, but they often have horrible stock levels, and half the time the staff can't find anything. Like, they're just disorganized people, which is funny because they're supposed to be able to have buy it and then you go like buy it online and then you pick it up in the store type of ability. But half the time the staff can't find anything when you go to do the actual pickup. 1, 2, okay. And then this dark one. What a weird tree. Because I do stuff like that. Okay. Put this one together. And then I get it back together. What did I just do? Bug goes on the right hand side. Okay. Kind of cool. And a big dark leaf. Hey. Big tree. I'm gonna bring this light up just a bit. Okay. What do we got? Richard got the tree. And it wants... Wow, crazy lighting. Oops, sorry. You can see some of the challenges. Okay, so we've got tree, and then we're onto this step, which actually is another smaller green. That's not the green I thought it was. So that's what I have for green trees. I'm just going to flip back and see, did I grab the wrong one? Oh, there's 2 in this part of the tree up here. What did I do with that? That's certainly, this is certainly the mid or dark green. I'm just going to double check my other set just to see if I've accidentally absentmindedly put away a green I should not have. Nope, it just dropped off the back of the tray. We're good. Alright, so that one sideways. No, green wedge, or not wedge, curved piece. Let's go. We're pinning it all together more or less. Might help if I actually follow the instructions. Oh, that will work better. Trying to only put pressure on the parts that need it so that I don't snap it all apart again. Okay, that's adding this piece. Up here, what are we adding? Another curve. Very weird tree. This one. Very weird song. Weird song to go with a weird tree. There we go. And a green piece. Four. Let's turn the page. Trying to fall over. It's Wonderland. Trees can be weird. Yes. You wonder why. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What did it just do? the page. I don't know what they added there. Oh, okay, I do know. Now, how far is it up? All right, so there's a little 2x1 flat piece. These are odd instructions. You guys are seeing it about as well as I am. I'm checking the preview, and what you're seeing and what I'm seeing is about the same. So when it's hard for you guys to see, it is for me too. All right, that. Then we can put on this little piece. And then oddly they want the big one stuck on here. Put it the completely opposite direction. Well, doesn't have to make sense, right? I'm going to pull these trays out of the way because they're messing with the color, for one. And you can also see how close we are to the end of this one. So, this leaf pinned on. The chocolate muffin bit they sent with it, that I'm not exactly sure where it goes. So the nice part about it is if I don't know, I can put it wherever I want. That's Lego for you. So this one goes on the main corner where we started. Like so. Still don't know. This little teeny chocolate piece goes. Now we take the Lego letters and we just put it down by the rabbit. And it says that we are done. Right? Because we've got all the bits and pieces. This is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. The Lonely Chocolate Muffin Extra, and I don't know why. Oh, I see now. It's on the table. I missed it. By the teapot. Okay. Can I get in there? Turn. It's hard for you guys to see, but it's also hard for me to reach. Have the teapot going out that direction. They also have this little cake thing in the middle, or in between. Can I reach? Ah! Oh. Okay. Lego. You be inverted today. Pop the mug. I think it'll make it easier. The mug I can get back on. Teapot, you're in the way. I think that, yeah, Valkyrie by Black Bamboo. Okay, let's find something else. Future Base is nice, but let's find something else interesting. This is not working for me. Cool. Uh-huh. Heavy weights? Weight training music. Okay, no. No, thank you. action gaming? Yeah, I don't think so. It's not action gaming. Let's see what we got here. Very chill. Okay, well, whatever. So, and then we put the teapot back and the mug back, and then we really truly are done. This is Dylan's Adventures in Wonderland and the I Wonder Why. Okay, come on. It's spun underneath. There we go. Stay. All right. We have a rotating table. The Adventures in Wonderland set. Yay! I have some brick heads, unless there's something Fantastic Sherlock Fox would like me to build, which would be as much a surprise to me as it is to you guys. The other small piece we did last week, or started and finished last week, was the bird's nest set. That's a Lazy Alice table. There you go. The Lazy Susan. And that will go nicely with the Hansel and Gretel house. Which, did I put that up? Yeah, I did. We've got 2 sets. Okay. Fox is crazy. Lego just shows up. It's actually kind of impressive. So this is the Hansel and Gretel house that we did earlier. And I quite like. And now it has a partner in the Adventures in Wonderland set. All right, so let's back out of here. Let's see if we can zoom out as much as this camera ever allows, which is not much. All right, so that went pretty quickly. And set these to a side somewhere. Asking you shall receive. Give me 1 second, and I shall be right back to grab, to get you guys to help me select the next set. All right, we are back. So we have 3 sets to choose from. We have the there is a candy store. It says limited edition on the bottom. No idea where Fox picked this up. It could be a GWP. I don't know. But yes, we've got the candy shop. We've got a couple of brickheads from the Potter series. It says Kingsley Shacklebolt and Nymphadora Tonks. They've been backlogged for a while. And then the last one is also Harry Potter, but it is, I'm just going to try and flatten this out. This is Draco, little Draco minifig in the Forbidden Forest. So it's a very super short set. We'll probably end up doing that and something if we pick that one. Okay, so this is apparently the latest gift with purchase from the Lego store, which I suspect Fantastic Shock Fox picked up when he bought the Minecraft crafting table cube, which looks pretty cool, but I'll have to get him to build that one. So, which one of these three would you guys like to see next? I'm just going to throw up the poll, and then we'll give a couple of games and stuff. Let's see what we got. Polls. Add. Give me a quick second to read through things, and I'll once again be right back, but I'm going to throw the poll up first. All right. So get your votes in for which one you want to see next. So we've got the candy store, the brickheads, or Draco in the forest. I'm running that for about 3 minutes. In the meantime, there's the pictures of what they are, and I will. What am I going to do here? Oh, and let's pull off the chat for now. Helps if I do that. And let's see what we've got for. I'll say a few more if I get short. Let's hold off. Next weekend is Stream Weekend. I won't be building Lego on Stream Weekend at the moment, so we'll see what happens if there's a traditional post-stream Lego or not. Okay. I'm going to start with one of these and see if it works. Guess that didn't show. That one. Huh. I don't know where that went. Quick card. Good. Lip in. Wow. So Lepin, just for those of you who aren't aware, is one of the more, or was one of the more popular, more obvious knockoff Lego set creators, creation companies. And why am I not seeing Oh, no, not that. Not that. Alright, so we have 3 choices, and it's a two-way vote tie so far between the Brickheads and Draco in the Forest. So we're looking for something HP related, probably. Alright, let's try one more of those. Just one. Try it again. There we go. What's all the fun and games until what's all the fun and games until somebody gets hurt? What is all the fun and games till somebody gets hurt? Alright, so we are... How long do we have here? Oh, poll is just about over, and it looks like we're going to have a tie. Minor typos. Yeah, minor typos. Well, we're tied with the Brickheads and Draco in the Forest. Alright, so it takes out this one. We'll hold on to that one for another week. Or I can return it to Fantastic Trail Fox's magic closet. Olympic soccer. Ooh. Yep. Alrighty, so that will hopefully disappear. Timer. There we go. That's another one for the list of typos. The never-ending list of typos. So, we're down to the Brickheads and Draco. Now, these are going to be fairly quick to do, so I think I'm going to start with the Brickhead, and then I'll do the Draco, and I'll come back and do the second Brickhead. That's probably the easiest way of doing this, because we tied. So let's roll with these. I'm going to just readjust the lighting a little bit, and let the camera do what the camera's going to do, and see if it figures out what's going on here. Better. Better! Okay, so these ones do have proper books, or proper instructions. So I don't know if I've actually downloaded those or not. The little one does not have proper instructions, so maybe we'll just go with the paper and we'll see how much glare we get. Or how much rock and roll craziness there is on the desk. So first thing I need to do, hide, Lego, view, where's the set picture? Set image, properties. Do I have that one? Not exactly, but we'll go with dispersion. I'll make it much smaller, because that's just a little bit too big. Go, and then we have to rename it, right? Set name. I wish I could do that verbally. That'd be nice. Properties. Kingsley Shire. Okay. I wonder if I can get this to fit. Excuse my arms just a moment, guys. Huh, that almost fits. Almost. Nope, other way. Whoa. Hey, good. We'll go with that. Right there. Okay, so that's what we've got going on, and let's start with Shacklebolt. I find him a little bit more interesting to start with. Infidora Tonks I know a little bit more about, so I can run about them for a little bit longer. So, I don't plan to talk your ear off, by the way, just so you guys are aware. Okay, we're starting with bag 2. Bag 2. Bags 2? That's with the... As is my usual style, there's not a whole lot of point in sorting these pieces. We'll just dig right into the pile. I really like the way that both characters were very, very different, and having them match up in this set, of course, is a Ministry of Magic themed set. because they all work for the ministry as far as I can recall. I may have to download the instructions just because these ones don't want to sit flat. They've been in the box so long. Yeah, they're not sitting flat. Okay. So, one more delay and then we'll get out of here. Let's see if we can get some proper instructions. New tab. Okay. Go right head. Oh, head X, heads. If I could spell the word instructions today, that would really help. Today's question of the day. You could get a mythical or magical creature, such as a unicorn, a phoenix, or so on. What would you pick and why? So first off, I'm not sure what a fluff skein is. I'm having a rough idea what a puff skein is, but I don't know what a fluff skein is. And why? I'm curious now. Okay. Sure. 6108. Okay. Did I get the correct ones? Ah. Lego, I don't want an ad. No. I just want the paperwork. Come on, browser, give me the file, you fool. Funny thing is they name these or number these things. A-L-E-B-O-L-T. I have to spell Shuckable wrong. Oh, no, I didn't. Yes. I have to save that to documents. Where do I put these? Lego. Instructions. Save that one. Hey, browser. Hello. So my browser's being kind of dumb today. This one. I've upgraded in quotes my browser to Arc, which is generally a good browser, but every once in a while it has some quirks that I'm learning that I maybe it's a little bit too what's the word? Too different, I guess. That's odd. Okay. What was odd was my computer was trying to tell me I already had this one. And I was like, no, I can't. Okay, set instructions. Where are you? This way. Properties. And show me correct file. Huh. Weird. Okay. I had Tonks already for some reason, but I didn't have the Shucklebolt one. I don't know. Whatever. Confusing. Okay. Now, show this. Perfect. Yes, it looks see-through. And we're going to interact with it so that I can actually get the instructions to do things with. There we go. That does look about as weird as you think it does. There's a filter on there that's actually making the background fade out, so we've got just the instructions. So we've got, starting with, move this over here. There we go. and 2 of these. This is a little easier because their instructions are actually on the screen. The puff skeins. Oh, okay, yes. Sorry, I haven't seen them around much. I haven't played all that far into the Hogwarts Legacy game. I would love to play more. I'm really enjoying that game, but it's how should we say? It's dark, I guess. It's not that I don't enjoy dark games, but the Hogwarts Legacy story, I'm always a fan of the light side, so like quite literally, I'm an anti-dark arts kind of person, and was looking forward, or well, maybe that's not the word, was hoping that the game would allow yet another opportunity to play out the light side kicking some butt. Unfortunately, you definitely turn more to the dark side than I would have originally anticipated. We're going in. Why don't we start out close and then we can pull back as we need it. But you know, that's all well and good. I mean, the characters are really, really well done. I actually have I think I've got a Hogwarts Legacy wallpaper on my desktop right now because I needed something a little bit darker. I had some picture of the castle for a while, and it wasn't working out just because partly with the way it bounces the light from the Lego, but also just I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves, and the two looks did not go well together. Go. So I quite like the Hogwarts Legacy. I thought about playing it online, but given the crew that we tend to hang with in the Dadcraft 73 community, sometimes I think I'm not nerdy enough. That really sounds cheesy. But other times it's that, I mean, I know it's all you play what you want, you know, enjoy yourself, stay family friendly, that kind of jazz. But the other part of it was also that, yeah, I just didn't really feel that it was a good fit for the community. The other part of it was, frankly put, I'll be blunt, I was being selfish. I really, really wanted to keep it for myself. And yet at the same time, I would love to share it with you guys because I can discuss it. So, I don't know. Maybe next time I get a major lull in Minecraft. These two. And I need to find another dark gray 2x1. Is it hiding? At the moment, you guys are seeing a little bit more overlit than I am, so let me just... This brightness business is going to drive me crazy today. For that. I know we're getting some glares. Pull that back. Oh, ice. Ice lights. Ice lights. Okay. One. Bring it up. I'm not quite as pale orange. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I do like the way that, as I've mentioned in the past, Lego starts with the innards of a character. And that's always been appealing to me. Okay, let's go with this. These ones I can actually see what I'm doing, maybe. Kind of, sort of. 2x1. Oh, no, not a flat one. I can place bits, and they're a little bigger. That's the other bonus. So, Fluff Skeins are probably a cousin of Puff Skeins, because it's the other place I've heard of things. Okay. 4. These are going to get oily and greasy really fast, so apologize for fingerprints. Not an instruction to you guys to apologize. I'm apologizing for my fingerprints. turning it around. Now we've got 2 of these sections with a purple on the bottom, blue on the top. Okay, and then a 2x1 flat plate. Attached properly. One. Missing the, oh, there it is. Out of one of those. Oh wow, this is genuine Lego. It's not exactly the world's best printing of it. Some of the studs are shiny in a way that you can see the Lego writing almost doesn't take, and the other ones are dull because they have the injection molding spot on them. So on the sides here and here. Oh, thank you very much for catching the title box. I appreciate that. Yeah, well, DC would be impressed, except that I've got the filter on a little bit strong. I can take this. 30. Make it frosty. Oh, nope, that's not working. This way, and we'll bring it down. There we go, close enough. Oh, that'll work. Oops. So we've got the white. What did I do there? That looks awful. This one. Okay. There we go. That's better. Okay, so it's not quite as opaque. Let's play with the other filter. Take the brightness down just a bit. Brightness down just a bit. Oh, nope. Cancel. 0 again. Gamma. That's better. Alright, perfect. Okay, so got that one all snapped on, and next one up we've got one of these plates. So we're closing in. So what I was referring to earlier about this inside is it didn't have to be yellow and red, but they chose the red, and it's kind of like guts, and I like that. It's kind of sharing a Minecraft sheet. Yeah, I could say that. For sure. For sure. No, those are straight. Okay. That means I need these. This is more what I'm used to in terms of flipping things and turning things around. Looks like we are going with those two on the outside, and they hang down. And then the central part is purple, but it's printed. I'm gonna bet it's this square. Yep, there we are. I do like the fact that it's printed rather than being a sticker. Typical for brickheads, but can't always count on it. That. Kind of an interesting blue-gray color. It's not quite the gray I'm used to, and I quite like it. right on into the head. I suppose there's probably something you could learn about a person by the way that they, or the order in which they choose to put their Lego pieces, but I'm not quite that picky. I mean, following the instructions is a good place to start. So once again, we're talking about colors inside the head. I mean, they've gone and put the pink in there as though it's a brain. Green doesn't seem to mean anything, now that it's yellow. That's probably whatever parts were cheapest at the moment, maybe coming out of their general boxes. And then that goes down inside. I'm finding myself leaning, so if you guys see weird stuff, you know, feel free to catch my attention. Okay, so then we have another run top. This actually reminds me, since I normally don't recognize any of the songs on people's streams, this reminds me, if you're the type that likes DJ music, they finally have themselves a category. I think 808, the celebration that you've been seeing floating around, is related to the fact that it was August 8, that they launched the category. So there's a big celebration about it, but I'm not entirely sure if that's what that referred to. It seems the most obvious. But, so supposedly sometime this week, if you listen to or view 15 minutes of DJ content, then you can get a cute little emote. I have not actually noticed the emote popping up for me yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it didn't happen. It could just take a while to show up like some of the other rewards do, but it could also be that I'm just oblivious. That does happen a fair bit, because between proper Twitch emotes and Franker face emotes and the hype train emotes and various different channels that you can use on other people's channels, it gets to be a little overwhelming at times just how many different options one has. I would love to get rid of the shadows today. This is not ideal. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that would make sense. See, you know far more about that than I do. I just repeatedly laugh on cue at the 2 turntables and a microphone reference that keeps coming up. Doing a good job with this one in terms of choosing the tone. The actor who played Kingsley was fairly dark tone skin, so I like the way this is turning out. Speaking of skin tones, not just in Lego, I'm kind of amused because in Lego, I would not be surprised to see the mock community, the make your own, or my own creation, sorry, messed that up. The my own creation community, I would not be surprised if they came up with their own version of Hermione that's a darker tone. Part of the reason where that would come from is, A, it's never actually directly discussed in the books, although, you know, there's all kinds of political hoofrah and people being upset about it. That it's basically more or less books written with the color tone of the author in mind. But in the first staging of the play for The Cursed Child, which is sort of a follow-on to the original Harry Potter story, Hermione was played by a darker toned individual. And boy, was there a stink. Very inappropriate, but yeah, people got really wound up for no good reason, in my mind. So I would not be surprised that if some of the Lego makers who do their own creations have done a bit of a reference to that. I don't think Lego will change anything, so I don't expect anything to come from their quarter at all. but it's one of those interesting elements. That and a full flat pipe. This one. I think there's a line in a song by Alessia Cara. It says, "No mistaken, we make our breaks if we don't like our 808s." Okay. Apologies for not catching that one, but it's not one that I'm familiar with. This particular music isn't working for me today either. I don't know what's going on. Let's go. I guess I'm gonna head to... Let's go something a little silly. Try some tropical silly. So these are supposedly the Tropical Bangers playlist. I don't see it being a banger at the moment. The description says, the perfect pool lounge soundtrack. No matter what season, these tropical soft house tunes will have you feel the heat of the summer within you. Definitely a little brighter feel than what we just came off of. This one has 2. What did I miss? Oh, I see. They're building the piece differently this time. Oh, I see. It doesn't really matter if I put them on in the different order, provided that I actually put on all the correct pieces, which usually is what trips me up. I get into thinking about something or discussing something, and then I slip up. Like that. And then I get stuck. Silly me. Put it on straight blend. Because mistakes like that cost you. So, there we go. Try again. Okay. And it centers over the ear. Still doesn't look right to me. Because it isn't. This is the correct piece built. In between. Okay. And I. That's better. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Next. Over and here we go. The other hand. I didn't know about that 808 thing. That's pretty cool. You see, you learn something every day. Well, this follows in that TIL, Today I Learned category. Oh. Today I learned I am not paying any attention. That's not helpful at all. There's a reason I have a brick separator on hand almost all the time. Oh. On the back. So when I was a little weirded out that there didn't seem to be an ear, but it's because I was doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong, she says. There we go. That makes more sense when there is no ear, because there shouldn't be. Okay, so now we have this plate, that on top. A bit more of a rerun of the front. And I'm going to have a rerun of the side on the other. This one goes right in there. And now we can turn. This he's got eyes. That's kind of cool. 1. And 3. These are going fairly quickly. That's part of why I figured we'd get more than one thing done. And yeah, this music is definitely working better for me. Okay. Oop. And I do it right this time. Exactly as the instructions show. Right in the middle of those two sections. There we go. Now, normally they would get a wand. I'm not going to open this one. I've got one in my collection of wands. It wasn't spare, it's that I've already taken a bunch of them apart. And LEGO characters tend to lose their wands anyways. This is why I have the whole box of wands. Or I do things like that and Butterfinger drop it. That's helpful. Very, very helpful. One of the nice things about the brick heads, though, is you can see in the instructions where they're actually supposed to hold the wand. Whereas, of course, in the smaller ones, you really can't see that sort of thing. And then we just have the display plate. Oops. LEGO. I don't want to go this way. Alright, so one down. That aside. I'm gonna need that box, we'll set that aside. And here we have Kingsley Shacklebolt. All complete. Alright, so that's part one. Let's put him down here. Actually, almost looks good. Spare eyeball. Okay, now, no point in renaming things. We're just going to temporarily turn off this. And we're going to do the Draco in the Forest bag because it's nice and small. Yes, he did turn out well. I like that. Okay, so this one is not one where you can easily download the instructions. A lot of little polybag types aren't. So, there we go. Let's just build this one. Minus the spider. It's loose, and I just don't do spiders. Oddly, there's a spot in my box for them. Bye-bye, spider. It's supposed to reference Aragog, I suppose, but the thing is, I don't mind pulling it in this case because Draco had absolutely nothing to do. Oh, okay. Where's the dark corner? Dark corner? Let's just fake this. Fake it till you make it, I suppose. Whoa, yeah. Okay, way down here. Kingsley, you can go up here. And a little less glaring down there. Not by much, but a bit. Mike's first here. Woo! Welcome on in, Mike. Thank you for being the first person here. Right. There we go. Okay. So we are doing a couple of little Harry Potter bags at the moment. We have ourselves a Draco minifigure. He's got a grouchy head as usual.
Hello.
I don't understand why, but their eyebrows never match their hair. None of the Draco minifigures I have do that, and I don't know why that is, because it's just, I don't know. Tom Felton, the actor who played it in the movies, who did a great job, is definitely blonde, and his hair does match his eyebrows, so I don't know. Doesn't really matter. It's easy. They've given them the short legs that are not the articulate legs. So unlike the older Harry Potter figure that's a similar height, actually a little bit taller, these ones, they're the short legs, but they do still move. And yeah, this guy has been living on my desk for a while to remind me the hard way about being careful with Lego. You guys can see on my hand. Oh, probably not. So one hand is complete, one hand is not, because I cracked it. Showing you guys something with the Quidditch set. Alright, so we've got that, and then we've got a white piece that goes up inside the lantern section, which is apparently glow in the dark, according to these instructions. That's cool. It's a nice touch. Turn Draco's hand inwards. On. And then he's got a black wand as well. We know the drill, right? Get some old G.I. Joe figures that are that way. Yeah. Some of the things... I understand that things get brittle over time, but there are limits. If it's a toy that you expect kids to play with, potentially off and on for years, that was not like a collector adult set, why would you do that? Anyway, it's fine. So Draco's got his wand for whatever it's worth. And now we're on to the base. In this case, you're actually seeing more glare than I am. Or the other way around. I am seeing more glare than you are. Two. That's an odd piece. Blue. That one. This one. There's an owl in the middle. Lovely looking little owl. Both arches. I just had an idea. Wonder. I do. Excellent. I have my UV pen, so I wonder if that's going to help. Right, so we've got a little owl kicking around. Excuse me, Kingsley. You're in the way, sir. So now we've got a wedge. That spot. Apologies for the glare off paper. Not a whole lot I can do about that at the moment. Yeah, it's right in the way. All right, we have tube, and I don't know what to call these pieces. I'll show you what they look like a little bit closer up. These sort of, they can be used for so many things. They can be used for floating things, making characters carry things at weird angles, leaves at strange angles. These ones are blue, dark blue. But I've seen them also used in some of the sets where you want a character to disappear like they're levitating or flying. Do look a little bit like Minecraft levers, yeah. Although I would say the levers in LEGO actually look quite a bit like Minecraft levers as well. They're little gray things with a black stick on them. And they do appear in the Harry Potter sets quite a lot, the actual like other levers, but you won't be seeing me with them because the only set I'm easily aware of them being in is an Aragog spider set. So, yeah. I have other spots of Dark Forest. I have, would have no problems if we do a unicorn reference or, what do you call it? Centaurs and all kinds of those sorts of things, but you know me. Okay. That times 2. 1, 2. here. That goes off the top. Okay. I think we're doing okay. These. I do like the way they're using those to put angles on leaves. That's actually kind of a neat trick. Something I wouldn't have thought of. It's actually one of the reasons I love building sets, is because in theory I'm learning so much that I could use for build your own or design your own. But my daughter has amazing perception for design your own type of set stuff. We go to buy bricks at the local used brick shop, and she always seems to have ideas for a new set. Okay, so that, oh, come on, lights, come close, and near, let's see if we can get the autofocus to do its thing. There we go. So that's this one with Draco, and I'm just going to see if I can actually light up the lantern enough you guys can see it. Okay, so you can kind of see what I'm doing. It really doesn't show on camera very well. One more this way and that way. All right. Yep, it's glowing, so we'll cut this. You guys can kind of see just very faintly in the hole. It's glowing. That's kind of cool. Okay, so we have one more of the brick heads to do. We're rocketing through Lego today. That's okay. I've got a random idea of what I can do if I end up with extra time. It's that one back there. I have to clean up my desk. It's a nightmare. Okay, so we're down to Nymphadora Tonks. Let's switch up the instructions. Properties. Browse. Come on, you silly thing.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today, cowboy? Oh, I just had a not responding out of my mouse. That is not good news. Alrighty then. Can I even get them out of the way? Oh, there we go. It's just being a pain, that's all. So we did Shacklebolt, now we're looking for Tonks. This one. Alright. So now we're on to Nymphadora Tonks. You come at a good time. We're just finishing up a pair of Lego brick heads from the Harry Potter series. So we did Kingsley Shacklebolt to begin. And now we're just about to launch into Nymphadora Tonks. Trying to break your 3D printer till it works. Huh. Well, yeah, I second Fantastic Sherlock Fox's question. What sort of printer? And what do you mean by break it till it works? Are you implying, you break it and so far that you go right around the bend the other way and come back into a functional state? That would be nice. I would love to try that if it actually worked. And next question is, what sort of 3D printing are you trying to do? Would it be filament based, or would it be, are we talking resin? No sledgehammers, no! Okay, so when you say complex print, that's another question. Are we talking multicolor or just a difficult fine one? Filament based. Okay, so probably I'm gonna guess maybe some PLA. We do our own little bit of 3D printing. One example of which, actually, was we printed off the, the handy dandy little Lego rulers. Nice, useful piece. And then also the little trays I used for sorting. Let's grab one. So like here's a white one, which did not make the camera go nuts. Go figure. And so we have a bunch of those sorts of things going around. But try to use. Actually, I've got another nice one. I don't have any of our 3D prints easily accessible. Oh yeah, I do. I lied. Fall, squirrel, I always squirrel. If you saw the room, you'd realize how messy this is. I'm just piling things as we talk about stuff. So the other thing, one of the other pieces we printed was this dice box with the stairs. So for those of you that are into RPGs, a little set of stairs. I've mucked with the middle so it doesn't quite fit the way it should. I think it's got some glue in there. But that stands up quite nicely. So yeah, just spin around and get your stairs. And then those, you drop your dice down the top and it does its thing, right? It's in the box. And it's a lovely dice tower because it's very compact and can put away easily. You can store your dice in there. I just don't have any in there right now because I was using Rory's Story Camps the last time. Difficult and fine detail, trying to get close to resin without the mess. Dice tower, ooh. I would be really curious to see pictures of it when you're done. That would be awesome. I love seeing those sorts of things. There's dice towers come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, and they don't have to be compact and movable. I just really like that one was. Okay, so I'm starting with the 2x2. And I need, oh, there it is. There's the other one. Wow, Lego. That's not your best work. This piece, I don't think it'll show on camera. No, it's not going to. The black edge of it is really, it's fairly chewed up in here in a way that I would normally, I'm just trying to see if I can get the glare to show it. No. In a way that I would normally expect from a used shop. So that's a little disappointing. But it's going to be the inside of the brickhead, so it's probably not a big deal. What nozzle size are you using? Because one of the things that we did find can be a bit challenging is trying to ask the printer to do a nozzle size for a print that is not necessarily what was originally specified. And sometimes some printers have ways around that, and other ones just choke. I'm looking for, okay, I need these ones. They're putting the dark bits and the light bits, like these little 2x1 pieces, in different bags than they did with the Shucklebolt one. So I got myself distracted for a minute there because I was looking in the wrong bag. 0.2. Wow. That's 684 color swaps? Are you kidding me? Wow. I'm just imagining pardon the reference, but I'm just imagining the quantity of printer poop involved in that. Goodness me. Hopefully it doesn't do too much in the way of stringing. And bed adhesion sounds like it could be a problem potentially on something that complex. Yeah, well, I mean, that would be quite the purge tower. I mean, there's that possibility. Where do you tend to purge to? Just curious. Some people like purge towers. Some people prefer attempting to make the purge do something else. I haven't actually seen that yet on ours. But the odd time we can purge into the infill spaces, which has its pros and cons, I guess. After we get the model to print in 4 colors, we'll be jumping to 6. Oh, okay. So you have some pretty serious multi-color system hardware there. We've got one of the Bamboo Labs 4-color AMS systems, and while you can jump up to 16 by, in essence, daisy chaining a bunch of them together to get more color options, we've never gone beyond I don't think we've actually used more than 3 colors in one print, possibly 4. Fox would know. But yeah, you're making me itch to print more. I'll say that. So kudos for that one. Ill objects. Okay, so something semi-useful, I guess, then, as a way of dealing with all the purge. I once saw, it wasn't a dice tower. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, the point, what I was going to say is, I once saw something I almost had Fox print until I looked at the specs more carefully, and it actually, the one I was looking at, had more purge filament weight than actual print filament weight. And that just blew my mind, so I was like, no, not printing that one. We don't show a whole lot of 3D prints on this particular channel, just because, I'll be perfectly frank, I haven't really done much in the way of slicing. I've played with slicing a few things, but never actually had the courage to hit go and print them. If it's worth printing, I usually send it to Fox and be like, I like this piece. Can you please print it? And then I wait. And if I don't actually say, now or soon or give a date or time, we all get busy and sometimes things don't happen. Other times I ask for things that don't necessarily make sense. For example, Dadcraft 73 made and sent to us some really nice fidget spinners. And at the time, they were nice widget to fidget. And I enjoyed them quite a lot, but I was always embarrassed. And then shortly after that, I got a diagnosis of ADHD, so I had an excuse to go with no offense meant. I had a reason to go with the love of fidget spinners. So those ones got used quite a lot because I liked the weight and the way they felt in my hand. Unfortunately, I fairly quickly snapped it because PLA is not flexible enough to be coated around, and in some cases dropped. That's the big problem, is I dropped it a few times, and so that was not a great move on my part. So having broken it, 2 of them actually, 2 different fidget spinners, I thought, well, we've got the bearing systems because that was metal. Let's print some new ones, and I found a nice design I liked, and that's fairly similar to the original. And I asked Fantastic Sherlock Fox to print it, but I was hoping that we could do it out of, say, TPU because it's a little bit more flexible, like physically flexible, not necessarily project flexible per se. And the difficulty was getting the holes to size right so that we could actually get the bearings and stuff to fit. So yeah, that project got delayed, and then I just said scrap it because I was asking for something that is not possible. What I may do at some point is just talk to the guy who originally sent them and just say, hey, need to reprint. Can you fire me a link to where you got your file? No, certainly not. No TPU in the AMS. TPU is messy in a rubbery sense, and I love it for some things, but it's terrible for others. Honestly, the best TPU projects I think we've had so far were replacement little air plugs, and replacement little air plugs for some water jugs that we use for camping, especially with scouts. And the scout group had said that they needed these air plug replacements because, of course, group gear and everything, they're hard on stuff. And they're plugs that either snapped or gone missing. Most cases have gone missing because the number of times that the plug goes in and out repeatedly, eventually it just wears enough that it's easy when you pull it upwards to pull it out to actually have it come out entirely. And so we needed to replace those. And it took a few false starts and stuff, but eventually we got it going. And those turned out quite nicely in TPU. I've had some other stuff, but we haven't done a ton in TPU. Part of it is just because it's just a pain in the neck to make sure that we get the temperatures and everything just right. Because our basement shifts temperature quite easily. E1S. Ah! It was a TPU. Ooh, that sounds cool. I actually saw a pen once in TPU, so it takes a very standard, I think it's Phillips fill cartridge down the center, but basically it's just a big rubber TPU sheath for the pen, and that had some neato textures and was fidgety on the outside. Like little, well, because it's TPU, it was purposely designed to be a little bit more flexible, and then that allowed for people to mess about with the pen and bend it and stuff while you're working with it. But the difficulty with TPU, for me, I like it, but if you're going to mess with it as a pen or something, it has a little bit too much memory. So if you've been messing with it a lot in the same direction, eventually it develops a curve in that direction, which is not necessarily what I want to be seeing. Stylus grips. Ooh, never thought about that. Yeah, I haven't, I've got an Apple Pencil I quite like, but I've never thought about putting a grip on it. I just haven't used it enough to need one, but that's a definitely good use for it. We've got, so you've got a Bambu Lab P1S. We've got a X1 Carbon. So that's where we're playing with our stuff. And different things people say about, you know, leave the door open or don't leave the door open or, you know, whatever, lift the lid, etc. Really, it boiled down to what are we trying to do? Why do we need to release certain amounts of heat, and how much? Like, what's your goal temperature? And then once we got that, we kind of threw some of the advice out the window because other ways of doing it just worked better for us. Because of our basement being a little bit on the cool side, we can actually leave the front door closed and the lid down in most scenarios, where some people are saying you have to lift it up. And I actually looked at that. There was one board where somebody had asked a question, and I guess over the course of the Reddit conversation, they ended up getting asked, where do you live? And turned out that people who were having problems with heat, they were trying to do this thing about 4 years ago, or 3 years ago, I guess. The post was, it's like, well, I live in Alabama. Okay. The person trying to respond was like, well, I'm out, because they had actually bought and had shipped a 3D printer up to Alaska. And so the Alaska person's like, yep, I'm out. I have no more experience to be able to help you with in this heat-related scenario, because where the person lives in Alaska, it's just a non-issue for much of the year. You don't want things too cold. If anything, you need to make sure your house stays warm enough. But yeah, knowing whether or not to lift a lid or open a door and how much and so on was kind of a silly conversation they were having. It's like, yeah, okay, well, it became a bit of good luck with that, but I mean, the principle was the same, and just the person who originally asked the question was being a little bit pedantic about wanting a perfect answer for their location, which is not something you can do. You know, that's not bad, actually. I'm in South Central Alberta, so actually the city's big enough, I'll just tell you. I'm in Calgary, in Alberta, and so yeah, we're very prairie, very dry. So that, but not dry enough that not dry enough that we don't get notable advantage out of using a filament dryer. And I know it sounds funny, I'm normally a Minecraft streamer, but Fridays are my break, and I often do Lego on Fridays. As far as 3D printing goes, as I said, we printed Lego sorting trays and whatnot. Where was that train going? Oh, but part of it was to say it's refreshing to be able to talk about various different things. The Dadcraft community does do some neat stuff. We haven't talked a whole lot about 3D printing on one of Dadcraft's streams for a while, but that doesn't mean that he's not doing things. It's just, if you have some very, he lives in a part of the US where it's a little more conducive to open bed printers, or the bed slinger variety, without a enclosure. That's the word. Words are hard. Without an enclosure, partly because it's a little bit warmer, but also that he had to deal with humidity and so on. And That's not necessarily the same up here. We do have a second printer as well. We also have, oh shoot, what's it called? We do have a bed slinger as well. I'm trying to remember what its brand is and model. Because I was trying to get it back to life the other day, or not the other day, relatively recently. That's where I was going. Thank you, you've reminded me. Bamboo suggests to open the door for pale day. They do suggest that, and it's basically looking for average location, and oddly enough, we generally don't have to. Any cubic viper, thank you very much, Fox. And that's where we started, and that was a bed slinger, and you definitely, I like it, but you definitely couldn't get the level of precision that you can on the bamboo. It's just that, you know, take a look at the price tags. Very notably different. So, some of what people are talking about comes down a little bit to a bit of software and a bit of, you know, hardware choices. And some say you get what you pay for. I don't know if I would agree with that. But, depends what you want to do with them, right? So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Lego. Thank you. You got me back on the train. So one of the things that some people do a fair bit of that I see online is, what did I not pay attention to? I didn't. Aha. Some of the things I see people do, I see online, is various different versions of Lego. So like a BrickHead's scaled regular proportion minifigure, or I've also seen that a lot of the parts are cataloged, which suggests that you could, you know, print missing parts. I'm not for that, printing missing parts. However, utterly discontinued parts, I'm not above considering printing. Case in point being that my son is a fan of Star Wars Lego, and especially the Hoth type sets, so the snow themed ones. But Lego doesn't seem to make the base plates anymore. And so when you start looking at the used market, they're crazy expensive. You run, there you go. You run the cost, I guess, of filament through, you know, and you take a look at how much the used markets are selling for the base plates, and you pretty quickly come to the conclusion that as long as you don't have scruples about it not being perfectly Lego branded in absolutely every single element, that why not print those sorts of things, right? Or if there's a piece that you've been struggling very heavily to find, then I say temporary parts are okay in my mind, with the intent to replace. And I know it sounds funny coming from an ADHD person who generally doesn't remember to replace anything, but one example is I'm working on a Fantastic Beasts kit that exists, and I want to use the genuine article. Unfortunately, the genuine article is not exactly easy to come by, and I was trying to finish an incomplete one that I'd picked up inexpensively. But of course, the beasts themselves are proving challenging, like the major sized ones. And so that's one where I'm not sure, but I have seen designs to print them, and I'm not a fan of that. But on the other hand, you know, I would always know, and that's the problem, right? I would always know that I cheated. I would always know that it's fake. But that said, I would rather print something than pay one of the knockoff parties. You know, some of the businesses like Lipin or other ones that outright just make knockoffs of the original sets and make money at it. That to me doesn't feel right. So I know it's a really weird, picky line. And I'm sure there's plenty of argument in favor of going a different route. But yeah, there you have it. So for all the parts that I can reasonably obtain, I'm definitely going to be sticking with original Lego parts. and slowly putting the thing together. But it's going to take a while. And a couple of times I've seen actually a full completed kit come through. Because it's the Fantastic Beasts Newt's trunk. I've seen a fully complete one, get listed on a used shop or on, say, a service like Kijiji or something. And oh, I did this one wrong. But the thing is, then part of me goes, well, have I actually put in enough effort, or have I put in enough that it's not worth doing the used one? Not opposed to custom pieces. Yeah, I can see custom. Just don't pass it off as the real deal, right? I think there are a lot of technologists who migrate to 3D printing. It feels like it's empowering us to solve problems we couldn't in the past. Like quickly printing a replacement bracket or mounting hardware for mini PCs, etc. Totally agreed, Fox. Totally agreed. And I mean, sometimes you want a custom tool. I've seen people custom print or discuss custom printing tool sets for themselves that just has them holding in English, that has them custom printed tongs to hold things, just because they may have larger hands or something like that and they need to get in somewhere small. I mean, I would have I would have very happily used something like that a little bit earlier because of big hands. Hey Zerk! Exactly, 3D printing Raspberry Pi cases, or when we see a lot, there's a gentleman called Smart Home Solver, and Reed prints cases for some of his smart home gadgets that I shouldn't say built, but he's bought the parts for the interiors. So like a garage door opener thing, I think he did, and some sensors. And sometimes every once in a while he'll talk about something that he seems to have bought, the way the conversation's going, but it's hard to tell because the quality of the item looks kind of like a home 3D print as opposed to even a Print Farm Pro. It's not to disparage anybody at all. It's just sometimes you print stuff and you sell it and it looks like you did it yourself. Okay, where are we? Nope. I just had an aha moment. I'm sure you guys probably noticed it far earlier than I did. Like with the Shuckle-Bolt set, I did the side when I should have done the back. Excuse me. This way. And that way. Watching stuff on interstellar travel, and from when I was a kid, excuse me, they're now talking about 3D printing as part of the overall strategy for that kind of travel. Well, of course. Pardon me. One of the concerns about 3D printing and interstellar travel, actually, that I was hearing about, they're talking about doing some tests on the space station for, as you're aware, of course. So I'm not trying to tell you something you probably don't know, because you clearly do. But one of the concerns they have with 3D printing in space is that they have to be careful about the enclosures to make sure that they're not causing a risk of fire, because that's a big deal. But also they want to make sure that they're not off-gassing things that can't be scrubbed out properly and slowly poisoning the stellar travelers. That's one of the things that they've talked about in the past, was whether or not they should put a 3D printer, especially there's some that can do like resin powder of more metal type stuff. And I think about putting one of those on the space station at one point, because then the guys up there could print whatever tool they needed. They just model it, print it, and off you go, kind of deal. I'm not sure how well that would work, but it would be interesting to see. I'm also curious to know, actually, I've seen upside down printers but I'd be curious to know how that would work in microgravity. That's something that we haven't really addressed yet, is the whole microgravity effect on 3D printing. I'd love to say it doesn't matter, but maybe, like in a resin sense, maybe they'll have a fluid chamber or something. Hard to say. But it's definitely one of those things that you would want on a longer, on a longer interstellar trip would be a 3D printer so that you could replace parts or fabricate new parts as the need arose. Or even fabricate new things for the people on the ship. I mean, it'd be kind of interesting, on a 6-month plus tour if you're sending, let's say you're sending families, or even, adults and teens. Maybe while they're out there, they may want to design their own brand new toy of some sort, or, could be something as simple as a fidget. Who knows what people in space want? Yeah, some of the exotic filaments, exactly. So I'm backing up a little bit here. Fox says, it's worse when you order something in for commercial retailer and you realize they 3D printed it, and you could have. Yes. Yes. NASA's done a lot more work with which plants remove certain contaminants. That's true. That's true. Carbon fiber is an exotic filament. We haven't done carbon fiber yet. We can. We even have a sample of it. We just haven't because we didn't have a need. So it was one of those experiment with it when you need it kinds of moments. So, I guess. Don't know too much about that one. Yeah. We print in our basement. So we've got our media room actually has our 2 printers in it, because we're not usually watching media, movies and stuff at the same time as we're printing. Often printing is an after hours thing. And for the most part, it's actually pretty quiet. So we're not too bothered. We're in the basement. Kids are up on the, 2 floors up. So therefore we can crank the sound if we have to. And I find it neat enough to watch. It's a bit distracting. But because we do that, we don't want to be doing super toxic filaments, ABS or ASA or some of those ones. I know that you generally can on some of the bamboo printers, particularly with upgraded nozzles and so forth. But it's just not something that we wanted to do. We do have a air purifier in the room, just one of those little generic, home unit type scrubber things. That makes it sound low end. Certainly not, at least not by the research and price tag. But we got one of those partly because I'm not the greatest duster. Yeah. But also partly because, oops, what am I doing? Use your brain, Delenn. I'm not the greatest duster, but also partly because, with 3D printing and stuff, who knows what's been put into the air in our house. Yeah, that was the right place to put it. It turns out it's the right pieces in the right places, but I jumped the gun a little bit and could have got myself in trouble. Because what did I? That's weird. It just popped. Oh, that's because I didn't do it right. Again, there we go. These hollow ones really throw me. Because the hollow ones, sometimes I'll accidentally put something in the middle that shouldn't be in the middle. There we go, that looks better. Yeah. Well, that's one of the things. I mean, one of the reasons I like the bamboo ones because yes, they're pricey, but they seemed to have a pretty decent at the time rep for half decent customer service on the early models. So when things were being a little bit screwball, they did actually get involved and help rectify problems. Most other printer manufacturers do too, if they're worth their salt. Not all of them are, but There's many of them that are worth their salt too. Okay, what? I know I'm used to having extra bits, but I have more extra bits than I'm used to. I'm just wondering, what did I miss? Back. Probably the back of the head. That's my bet. Back. Oh. Missed one. Okay, that makes more sense. And I have one spare of each of those sizes. I can handle that. Then she just needs a wand, and she is complete. Side. Picture looks like a dark brown wand, but I think she came with medium brown. All right. Nymphadora Tonks. There we are. So let's get her on her base plate. That's all that's left to do, and then that one's done. We have ourselves 45 minutes left. I think I'm going to launch into the candy shop because I can. Rocket and rolling today. Okay, there's Nymphadora Tonks on her base plate. I'm still puzzled by why I have had her instructions downloaded ahead of time and not Shacklebolt's. And I think I know why, but I can't totally say. I was doing these as build-a-step in between things in my Minecraft streams, but they just stopped getting redeemed. So, yeah, I'm puzzled by that. Okay, so these two, we are done. Down. Trying to find a spot because I've got one, two, three. Yeah, I've got 3 other sets on the desk beside me at the moment. Oh no. 1, 2. Oh geez, we're like about 6 other sets on my desk. Guess I need to clean up. I'll show you really quickly here though how difficult this would be. Yeah, good. Nothing too revealing in this one, so let's go with the chatterinos. So you can see from behind me, A, the room is messy, but B, we got just a little bit of Lego on that side. So yeah, that's finding a space is going to be a challenge. Just past the top of the bar up here, you can see I've got the Orient Express up there, and then the Hogwarts Express is on a desk on that side of the room. Lego. Alrighty, so this one does not have a picture. So let's... I don't think it has a picture. Just going to see if I can get digital instructions. That's the key. This one and that one. Back. What do I want? I want these. Oh, oops. I thought I wanted candy store Brickhead's instruction. I'm like, no, don't think so. The number in with this. 40692. Do we actually have? Ooh! Building instructions. Yay! Instructions viewer. No, that's not what I want. Is that really what I think it is? Yes! Awesome. Download. Okay, so we're going to get those instructions on the screen as soon as I can. Download the file. So, Lego. I understand they want instruction titles in multiple languages, but when they give you a number for the file, and it has nothing to do with the set name whatsoever, then I'm a little disappointed. Candy store. Put it in the same place as the other ones. Candy store. Save. Thank you, program. You want this. Can I? Cancel that. I was wondering if there was an easy cheater way to actually get just an image to work with, but it doesn't seem to be easily doable that way. That's fine. It's fine. Ooh, look at that one. Lego, sometimes you come to my rescue. Let's try this. Save image as. Huzzah! Okay. Problem solved. Now I have to figure out where to put it. Documents. Called shopping? Really? No. Lego models. Gotta name that. Candy store. Okay, let's see if we can get this to work. That's an if. So let's see. Image. Start with that one. An image. Properties. Change. Candy store. I just saved you. Where did you go? This one. Oh, phooey. Doesn't have the background removed. Oh well. It's okay. You can deal with that. First off, make the image smaller. And not crop it. Why am I doing this? Go. Smaller. We don't need that huge image. That'll do for now. I'd rather have the background gone. So what do I have? Options. Trying something out. See if I can make it work. Place those. Opacity shader? No. This one. Remove this. Goes down. Hello. Go down, please. This one. We're going to select the white. Ooh. It's not perfect, but it will do what I need. Whoa. A little tighter. I want it taking out all the weight in the box. There we go. Close enough. Alright. Quick and dirty, but it does the trick. Let's go... Gamma, you can be 0. 3, 2, 1, 0. Close. Alright. Quick and easy. Instructions. Let's get those instructions changed up. Browse. We need the candy store. This one. Open. There we go. Alrighty. All good. So make those a bit smaller. Badly placed. That's fine. Okay, so we got the box. We have ourselves about 35 minutes, so let's see how far we can get in this one. And I think I need to rename the thing. Candy Store Makers and Crafting. Okay, and I will change the set name. Properties. 4069 2 Semi-center this. Ooh, lazy. One of those close enough moments, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, so here we are. And we can open the box. Wow, that picture looks weird. Image. What? Oh. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Okay. Change. Okay, so we're still semi-see-through, but not as bad. So let's get a move on before I get too much more distracted in the text side of things. Can you tell? There's the booklet we've got. It starts on page 3. It has little markers that go all the way across, and we end on page 80. Let's rock and roll this puppy. 1, 2, 3. Come on, give me 80%. Okay, well, I'm not gonna worry about it. Not gonna worry about it. Because I was playing the wrong one. I want this one. I want 80. 5. 3, 4, 5. There we go. Close enough. Guess we need bag 1. That's not quite so bright. All right, so these. I'll remember what that is later, apparently. So page 3, 1, 2, and 3. Here we go. 1. Some people say, why don't you adjust this stuff before we come on, like before you go live? There's a reason I don't, actually. As weird as it sounds. But it's sort of a transparency realism thing in terms of taking everybody along for the ride. So, you know, keeping it real and all that stuff. That sounds silly. Sounds like a time killer, but it's a factor. Okay, what do we got? These all the same? Okay. Perfect. I don't have to worry. Oh, we have a short one and a long one. And the short one goes first. Go. We have blue and red. Do. Familiar? Blue. All right. Next. Aha. This one. Go. So, let's see what we got. Literature, 2 titles in which an alternate universe or multiverse appears. Yes. I mean, most book series could be said to be in an alternate universe. But are they considered literature? Good point. I would say some of the stuff that Fantastic Sherlock Fox reads could be. I'm horrible with titles, but he was telling me one that I think might be considered. There's one where it's a future type of thing, but people move around from place to place and apparently time to time in some sort of portal. But the portal has a the way time shifts while these people are away ended up making them like heroes or whatever back home because of something that happened. And yeah, that's a very vague description. Fox would definitely have to say more than that. But the point I'm trying to make is that sometimes when you end up with something like a sci-fi book that has a world along those lines, or you end up with a world like in the television show, for example, Sliders. That's not literature either. But they definitely had, the whole premise was that you were sliding around from parallel universe to parallel universe. Nope. I thought I got it first time, but this is one that didn't have as much give on the spacing as I would have hoped. See if I can get this to fit. Barely. There's not much space vertically. Often there's a little bit of hangover so you can center, but not on this one. Alright. Go, and then 2. Alternate universe or multiverse? I guess if you really wanted to stretch it, you could maybe try and make a case that Looking Glass Land or Wonderland would be an alternate universe. I'm not exactly sure that would really qualify, though. But there is a definite section in there in Looking Glass Land where Alice is freaking out because she sees her parents on the other side of what should be a mirror. So it looks like a mirrored room, except in one world, her cat is sitting there, and in the world where she presently is, there's no cat. And she was bothered by that because she could hear the cat, and then she gets up and realizes that there's no reflection in the mirror. Which should be, normally, it would be her mirror over her fireplace mantle. So, at one point she sees her parents getting ready to go out for some sort of afternoon dinner or tea or something. And she gets pretty upset. In one of the musical versions of Alice's Adventures, they have her saying the line, I'm here, on the other side of the mirror. Which I guess we could say is sort of like a multi-universe thing going on different sides of the mirror. That's a big stretch. Really big stretch. This one. And now that I've mentioned the Alice stuff, aside from the Tea Party book set we did earlier, I've now got going through my head images of a video game that was really quite dark with Alice. And so, yeah, I kind of wish I hadn't thought about that. Anyway, on a brighter note, where you've got cool green colors. Brighter note, literally. But tis. For your sake, I may be here all week, but there's not much left of the week. I'm going to roll that one just because I think we're struggling with it. Oh. Yes, I have answers to this one, but I'm going to leave it for you guys to start with. I do enjoy Disney quite a lot and have for many, many years. But sometimes the number of Disney questions on here gets to be a little ridiculous. Although I will say something is interesting to me in my lifetime, or in our lifetime, I guess. My generation? Oh boy. Dating myself. But I'm actually pleased to see that quite a number of actors and actresses are being able to do crossover genre. And what I mean by that is, for example, we've seen Mark Wahlberg used to be, Marky Mark from like Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, a white rapper that we completely forgot about when the question came up the other day. But I mean, I think he's better as an actor. In any case, we've got that situation going on one hand. Let me grab back to 5, 4, 7, 3. On the other hand, we've also got like Will Smith, who did the same sort of thing, coming over from the music world to acting. I'm sure there's a few others that have done that particular direction. My personal favorites are situations where there's actors that I'm more used to as a dramatic actor, or pardon me, for lack of a better term, a musicalist actor, and then we find out, hey, guess what? They can sing! And so they end up doing like a musical number. I love those surprises. Yes, exactly, Timberlake. I mean, I would never have originally thought Timberlake would make a decent actor. But he actually did. The shop is apparently open, according to the sticker. And I bungled the stick a little bit, so I've got a bit of goo just above it, but that's okay. It'll do. It's meant to be off kilter, so I'm okay with that. And Justin Timberlake is a great one for that. Also going the opposite direction, I was unaware that Richard Gere could sing. I didn't know that. Apparently it's not news to a lot of people, but it was news to me, so yeah. And initially it was news to me that Catherine Zeta-Jones and Renee Zellweger could sing. But just about anybody can be taught to sing. Yeah, well, that's true. Many of the girls in the Disney shows have music albums. I mean, thanks to Disney, we have, Hannah Montana, or better or worse, made Miley Cyrus. I say for better or worse for a good reason. I know it sounds dumb, but I actually liked her early stuff where she wasn't all crazy and wild. But that's just me. I'm very much into the heavily family-friendly music, and it seems to me that for the most part these days, I would say music is becoming, the lyrics of which are frequently becoming less and less family-friendly. That's just my preferred style. We've talked about it before, cuss words have a purpose, and so I don't wish they didn't exist, but they don't need to be dropped anytime you like. And I'm really kind of tired of songs on the radio that are all about, I shouldn't say all about, but are very heavily appearing to be more focused on the intimacy of romance stuff. in the like birds and the bees sort of. No, that's not it. That's the word I'm thinking of. But anyways, it's like pop music doesn't need to be about that sort of thing. But I mean, that's what makes it, to some extent, although pop is a genre, technically it's popular music. And there's an awful lot of pop music that wouldn't be pop if it wasn't for the fact that it's talking about things that I may not necessarily agree with. You know, it's not made for me. Even this playlist, these playlists on Epic. Epic? Jeepers Creepers, what am I doing? Epidemic Sound. Wow, words. They're not made for me, you know? Like, they don't have the AI the way that Spotify does to say, here's what you should listen to. Spotify tries, but they put in a lot of stuff that's not copyright safe, so I don't do that and just stick with the preset lists. There was a thought to this train, or there was a train to this thought at some point. Anyways, but I find it interesting when you see people in movies and stuff that have crossed over from one style to another. I will admit, as much as it didn't totally work for me, I was, on the whole, relatively pleased with Madonna's twist on trying to do the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical Evita. I've actually not just seen it, but I actually had friends who were in it with one of our local theater companies, and it was. And when I say local, I don't mean like, you know, cheap end high school kind of stuff, but the ones you pay for, like you season tickets and all that kind of jazz, and they get the big name stuff. She was in it, and so I got to see the show up close a couple of times, extra, which was really quite nice. And so I'm a little fussy about that particular movie, or that particular show. And Madonna did okay. Wasn't great, but okay. Not particularly a fan of Antonio Banderas as Che Guevara in the movie version, but that was not because necessarily that he couldn't sing it. It was just that some of the directing was pretty rough. And I wasn't a fan of Banderas doing Zorro, which wasn't a singing piece, but definitely was something a little not in my wheelhouse. But as far as singing goes, a good example of people who supposedly couldn't sing and now can, sort of, would be Julie Walters, British actress. She played in why is that eluding me? Mamma Mia, the one with like the musical with ABBA music, alongside Meryl Streep, and did great. I didn't for a while realize that was her. So, for those of you who are not familiar with the face of Julie Walters, think a short-haired, bespectacled version of Molly Weasley's face. That's probably the best way of putting it. And then there's another actress, I can't remember what her name is, who totally couldn't sing either and was helped to be able to sing. I'll have to skip it. It's the third gal in that friendship trio in the story movie. I can never remember the lady's name because she always reminds me of Joan Rivers. So that's why I can't remember her name. It's like Christine something or other. But yet, in that movie, they managed to get Pierce Brosnan to sing. You know, while that's not stellar, I'd watch that again. I'd watch him sing in some other movie. That said, I didn't know Richard Gere could sing. And apparently he's quite good at it, and has for quite some time. It's just things I didn't know. So we're coming full circle again back to Chicago. Now, Riley, on the other hand, what's his name? I think C. Riley. Anyway, he should never sing. He's okay, but yeah, don't do that again. That's not worth it. Okay, we're on to bag 3. We're gonna make this, maybe. So if we get super close, I'm just gonna push it through and go a little long. Reasons for it is, although a lot of these feel like time fillers in a way, I really am thinking it'd be nice the next time we do a Lego day to just reset such that we're starting from the start of a set rather than somewhere in the middle. These are all very small bags anyways. Okay, so this one needs a sticker. Yeah, I've seen this. As many of the girls in Disney shows. Another one I think has had her own music was the one who plays Raven. That's So Raven. And of course, it's one of those ones where she will look like she's a teenager for many, many years beyond her actual age. Just one of those people who got that particular set of luck. Not that you guys can't see it, but I'm having trouble getting it to line up the way I want. It's sort of magneting itself. We've got a curve in the sticker. Right, yes, there we go, that's good. Alright. Yay, no bubbles to poke today, that's good. What do we got? Okay, song by a male villain. So I have not heard any answers to that, even after I went on at length. So I will give you, let's go with Be Prepared by Jeremy Irons as Scar in the Lion King animated version. The only one that's worth mentioning. Although I discovered last night that there is going to be yet another sequel prequel thing to that story series, except it's not animated, it's one of the live action ones, so it's a prequel, sequel, whatever, to the live action Lion King, and it's going to be somewhat like the animated one that was kind of forgettable. Uh-oh. It's a gumball machine, but it's got the injection molding bump on the front, and I do not like that. Okay. So on the animated series, they've got one called Lion King 1.5, where they've basically retell the entire first story with our two humor characters, Timon and Pumbaa, so Meerkat and Warthog. But they tell it from their point of view, with all the wonderful, youthful washroom humor and such that entails. Whereas this one is going to be still Timon and Pumbaa again, but the live-action version is actually going to be called Mufasa, the Lion King, and it's actually the story of how Simba's dad became king over Scar, like ahead of Scar. One of the things they've added into the storyline apparently is that it's heirs and stuff you would think would be all biological in the animal world, but in this one it's not, and that's what puzzles me. Is Mufasa is apparently adopted? Go figure. And they have, and so they talk about his biological parents, and they have Scar's family who are biological parents, and Scar actually has a different name as well. I think he's both, I guess you could say. And then I guess the Scar's family adopts Mufasa, and I'm not entirely sure how that connection works. Like, I read it last night and can't remember whether or not it was Scar's family that was the head of the Pride officially, or whether it was Mufasa's biological family that was. But in any case, Mufasa, if it was Scar's family, then it makes sense where in the original animated movie, Scar gets pretty upset. He was supposed to be, or at least he thought he was going to be, the next king of the Pride. and unfortunately that did not come to be, partly because Mufasa is stronger. There's more to it than that, but that's really what it boiled down to. And it's really interesting to see how this works. The thing about it, though, is they're bouncing ahead in the future to go back. So they go with, at the end of Lion King, original movie, before the sequels, which hit or miss depending on your fandom level. Ooh, do we get a printed? Hey, we got a printed till, and 2 of them. There's a spare. I love it when printed tiles come with spares. So, okay. But anyways, Disney has added, for the purposes of their TV series and stuff, they've added more to the family. So, of course, at the end of The Lion King, original movie, you see Rafiki the shaman. Pop this. Okay, shaman come monkey. What's the word? I want to say baboon, but that's, yeah, I guess baboon. But anyhow, you see him holding up a lion cub, and then, of course, Disney's gone on to tell you who that is, etc., etc. So in this new film that's coming out in November, I think, then they have this little cub gets told the story of their grandfather. Yeah, that's where they're going with that one. That's about all the spoilerific information I want to give. There's not a whole lot more available information-wise, but there's a couple more spoiler elements in there I didn't totally reference because we get into a bunch of discussions on gender politics and stuff, and I don't really want to touch that. But rocketing through this one, it's just interesting to see that one come out, and in competition with that, and I'll back it up a little bit, back to Lego, sort of, kind of, maybe, and people who can sing and can't sing. There is a movie version of the somewhat popular book, Broadway musical and book, called Wicked, story of the Witch of the West from the Wizard of Oz tales, based off of some novels that were written before the musical was based off the novels. And it's the what if this wicked witch wasn't all wicked? What if she, was just like you and me, but green for some reason, and had to deal with all the prejudices and such. And that was brought to much success, much acclaim, and plenty of sore voices. There's a song called Defying Gravity in there, which is a belter, as in you really belt that one out. It's your act-ending major piece. And it was more or less written for, at the time, and tweaked for Idina Menzel's lungs. So Idina Menzel of also Frozen fame. And so she did this one for, what was it, 10 years? Something like that. Before she decided she wasn't going to do that show anymore. And the other character that was in there was brought to life by Kristen Chenoweth. Or some people say Chenoweth. Depends how fast you pronounce things. But Kristen has reprised her role multiple times too. But they both agree that a lot of the parts are just, they rip your voice up. And it's kind of funny because it's developed a reputation somewhat similar to a song from Les Mis called Bring Him Home that was written for Colm Wilkinson, because Colm Wilkinson can sing ridiculously high. So you get jokes in Broadway, and even in the Forbidden Broadway parody stuff, that complain about the song being high. But anyway, so this Defying Gravity's gotten like that. It'll be curious to see how that goes in the movie version, because they have different actors, different actresses. I'm not overly familiar with faces, so I can't exactly say, oh, it's so-and-so you've seen from blah, 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 because there's a couple pieces I recognize that she's in, but not a whole lot, so it could be just someone that I'm not as familiar with on screen, and maybe they may be more of, have been a stage personality that crossed over, and then we're back to crossovers again. But, so this Wicked is coming. They've broken it. Apparently there was enough stuff from the stage musical that they couldn't tell in one film, so it's 2 films. I'm really curious to see how that's going to pan out, because I have no clue why you couldn't do it all in one. And people say picture's worth 1,000 words, and stage musicals tend to be fairly minimal in their sets. So I'm not sure how you couldn't tell it in a whole thing, but whatever. It's a thing. So they're going to be doing it as 2 movies, which means, of course, like with The Hobbit, there's going to be stuff added. Okay, hang on a sec here. How did... I'm looking around at this going, how did I miss so many parts out of this bag? All of this stuff came in this bag. None of them. Maybe it is just that many spares. I guess? Yeah. There's a lot of duplication. And what's this red circle? Oh, okay. Well, that's just... Sure. Okay. Fine. Put that aside. Bag 4. That's it. I kid you not. We have 3 bags after this. So we'll see how fast this goes. Let's say if I stop talking, but that wouldn't help. You like the movie Oz because she started good. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And in this one, she's always been good. And it's just very misunderstood. But the way the musical goes, which is going to be interesting to see how they pull it off in a movie, the musical is designed in a full circle format. So in other words, you have a celebration of the negativity at the beginning, and then it circles back to tell the story. And so let me start from the beginning kind of thing. Which means then how, or makes me wonder, I should say, how they're going to deal with that in a 2-movie format. That's okay, right? They don't have to make sense to me. I'm not their sole target audience. I'm looking forward to it though. Like, it's one of those things I hyper-focused on for quite some time. I have a cute little Elphaba plush, which is down here, but it's incredibly dirty. I'm bad at dusting. Did I say that twice? But she starts out good, and then it's truthfully, through no fault of her own, the world just does not cooperate. Mostly, I'd say to start with, it's her dad. Yeah. The one that she knows is her dad. We'll leave it at that. I mean, spoilerific and all that. And that, and, you know, people are colorfully racist, I guess. They don't like people with a, how does she phrase it? A verdigris, which is kind of amusing because she's got green skin. And that one and that word in French involves both the word, even though it's not etymology related, verdigris involves both the word for gray and the word for green. Because vert looks like vert, V-E-R-T, which is French for green. Yeah. That's probably partly why they picked it. Okay. That's probably the end of that. Yep, that's the end of that bag. How did I know? Okay, bye. This makes no sense when you have a bag this size this size and this size, those three, to leave it for another stream. That's why I'm just going to rock on through. Okay. All right. And it's only because we've been discussing color a little bit and not meaning to be negative. Then I will note that Alphaba in this movie version, although she's green, is very positive. She's played by someone of the people of color sort of descriptor. That's awesome. I like that. I like that. It's just switching it up, but also some of those individuals actually tend to have a bit of a stronger lung set for some of the songs like Defying Gravity, so I'll be really looking forward to seeing how that turns out. But last year there was one called, or there was a couple of movies that came out. It was like Oppenheimer came out the same time as the Barbie movie. And the resulting effect was, unfortunately, some people gave it a nickname that, by blending the two together, just a good old portmanteau. And it, I don't remember what it was. Barbenheimer or something like that? Anyways. And so people were joking that because Wicked is coming out at roughly the same time as this, not the Mufasa movie. Yeah, anyway. But that there might be another sort of similar crush. No, it's not the Mufasa movie, it's, can't remember, I'll have to look it up again. But anyways, I'm finding it interesting because, like, the discussion on that, interesting because it just goes to show a little bit about how, even though people have different tastes in different genres, if movie studios want to make a buck, then they often have to watch out for what films are getting released at the same time. Just because the sales going to theaters is so bad these days. I mean, the prices are kind of ridiculous. Some people claim you get what you pay for. Well, yeah, you do, because they're adding ridiculous features to make you want to come to the theater, but then they're, for what I would say is a good reason, charging you extra for those features, which makes it overall expensive to go to the theater, and that makes the whole thing circular. Because then you need to, because then the prices look so bad, and then you need to add good features to entice you in, which then makes you pay for those features, and round we go. So there is still a movie theater near us that does the regular movies when they get out of the main theaters. We jokingly call it the Rainbow Theater, but it's really the cheap theater. And I think last I checked, their prices were like $5 Canadian. So heaven knows what that is in the US these days. But it's definitely a reasonable cost for a fairly standard to the way I grew up movie-going experience. What I mean by that is, your folded seat with the cheesy cushion that probably smells like everybody else's fart for the last month. And, good bucket of crazy popcorn and so forth. However, you get to see the movie in the theater. And sometimes that's great. Like, it's nice to be able to have people nearby to share the experience when everybody goes ooh or ah, or, intake of breath or whatever. On the flip side of that, and while I would enjoy that experience, I'm not the right audience for it anymore. Ooh, Beetlejuice movie. That sounds cool. I'd be looking forward to hearing about that one. So I'm not the right audience for movie theaters anymore, unfortunately. I've always been, even my parents were okay with it growing up, but I've always been one of those people that people love to hate at the movie theaters because we will lean over and whisper to our neighbor. This is why I can't go to them alone. Because you gotta have a neighbor to whisper to, or, yeah, I just get wound up and distracted. Because I'll end up with some sort of thought that's on my mind and must be dealt with instantly. It's just, yeah. It's not uncommon for some of the population, but it can be highly frustrating to the rest of the population. That's why I'm not the right audience for movies. Better to have it at home. On the other hand, at home, unless you've got a really grouchy partner, you can generally get away with scrolling on your phone. And so what I try to do is to write down things, which unfortunately does not keep me from saying them aloud. So, yeah. Poor Fox. You saw a cool popcorn bucket. I'm going to back up to that one. And I will come full circle in a sec. Popcorn bucket for the Beetlejuice movie. I've only ever owned 2 cool popcorn buckets in terms of movie themes. And one was, we've got a couple of buckets that we picked up just by sheer coincidence when we went to see the most recent Indiana Jones movie. They're neat little metal ones, so I thought it was cool. And growing up, we got, I had the commemorative bucket from Jurassic Park. My parents still have those though, because they turned out to be just the right size for the amount of popcorn they make at home. Huh. You know, that would be interesting. Not great in our house, just that's a nope rope. Not as bad as spiders, but yeah, that's a nope rope. Still, I like the idea of the design. Probably had stripes and stuff on the bucket too. So way back, minutes ago, I was actually brought up Wicked for a reason. So sometimes when you get the marketing going around, I mean, everybody's got toys and, you know, plush and outfits and whatever, because it's the witches and stuff concept that, of course, companies want to hit the Halloween market. If you could, I don't think there's many that are bothered by it, but if you're being super careful, feel free to DM me, or just use the I think it's double pipe, like the little vertical strip thing. The vertical lines in with the backslash key on your keyboard, and if you put that on both ends, it will give you the spoiler box. And then people who don't want to see nope ropes don't have to. In any case, where was I going with this? So, marketing. Soon with the Wicked movie, of course, Lego wants to get on board. Yes, Lego. And I thought, oh, hey, cool, another IP I'd be totally into, which could theoretically somewhat mesh with the Harry Potter concept from the point of view of the fact that it's witches and the notion that, okay, yeah, it's potentially another version of a Muggle explanation for magic. You know, I can come up with all kinds of silly excuses. One of the things that I noticed, though, is that the release date for the release date for the Lego is 1st of October, and the movie isn't coming till the 22nd of November. So it really does make me wonder. Oh, careful on those thumbs, Dylan. Almost shoved in the windows. So I don't know. I think it's a little too far ahead, because it gives time for people to get interested, get excited, get the sets, or get the set, build it, and then have it burn out again. I'd be unexcited. However, I will say, aside from the Disney material that Lego has been doing with the Friends, not minifigs, mini dolls, I guess they're calling them. I had never really paid attention to what they called those. Aside from the that they're using the Lego Friends style or size for the Wicked stuff. I'm kind of curious about that. It's definitely a scale I don't already have, so that would be not in favor of my earlier thought regarding, you know, co-themes. That said, it doesn't write it off. You know what? If I do things right and actually do the instructions like they said, it'll fit. So, yeah. I connected it the wrong way. There we are. That should be better. Much better. So, all that to say that it's nice to see Lego using that style of dolls and such for something other than just Disney princesses for a change. I mean, one could argue that it might as well be Disney princess, but at some point Disney will have their hands in it anyway. They usually do. Either Disney or Universal. See, that said, here's another squirrel off to the side. Has anybody been watching the news slowly coming out about the Universal Studios sort of next big thing park in Florida? They're going to be calling it the Epic Universe. I'm quite curious because it's got a lot of IP that's not just movie related as such, although it is definitely very much movie related. But they've got, for example, they've got a sort of a Mario-themed Mario World type of land. And I'm quite curious about that one, to see how that's going to come out. I haven't watched a lot of spoilers on that one. But it's definitely looking appealing, more so than anything that Disney's cooked up in the last few years. I mean, aside from the fact that Disney's got their own problems with regards to image right about now. Oh, for Pete's sake. Sorry. Okay. My kids are fighting. That's what it is. I care, but at the moment I'm streaming, so I only care so far. And as you can tell from the fact that that made it through, my setting to be on Do Not Interrupt Me mode falls off at the top of that last hour. No, it doesn't. It's still on. Okay. I don't know why that one came through. Oh, I know why, because it's family. That's why. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little outside the box. Perfect. Perfect place to put it. Outside the box is kind of our off-topic channel in the Discord. And that's where things go that just don't really seem to fit anywhere else for the most part. Sometimes it has us, puns intended, thinking outside the box. And given how much I scroll all over the place, outside the box could be inside the box as well. It could be everywhere. Did I? Good. Good level. So we have... Ooh, we have a key. I love that. So it looks like we have a candy machine with a key on it. Alrighty. And then we have a spare key. Woohoo! I love spare parts like that. Yay! So there's the key. And then we have 3 parts. So we got pink. The pink with sparkles, frosty. Injection mold thing. Pink, frosty sparkles. Blue with frosty sparkles, or purple-ish. And then what's the center one? Yellow. Yep, yellow frosted sparkles, of course. They look really good though. I like it. Sparkles, I mean, on the scale that we're talking here, sparkles could actually be, you know, say jelly beans or something on their own. There, I'll set that inside. Now we've got interesting, like, drip piece. Seems like a custom molded. So it's the top of a cake of sorts. Or tablecloth, I guess, because it's very regular as opposed to just drippy. And then we've got ice cream type bits. Balloons or whatever. I think I'm gonna go with ice cream. Throw that on here. Ooh! That on here. I have a flashing light flashing at me on my desk, and it's slightly distracting. But the flashing light is saying, you've gone over time. So I know I'm under pressure. Under pressure. Boom. We didn't see that. That actually affected a lot of pieces. Interesting. Okay. Loosen that up. Where's... Because I didn't sandwich it together well, right? Right. Pretend. Pretend that's the reason. Oh. Okay. Back in business. So what sorts of, we were talking movies loosely. What sorts of movies or TV shows have people been hearing about and reading about that they're actually looking forward to, whether or not they have access to the funds or the service to watch said material? I have not had cable for a very long time, voluntarily, so I'm kind of out of the loop with shows. I mean, I'm aware of some of the Star Wars stuff. I mean, Star Trek 2, yes, I'm aware of that. But Star Wars stuff, but not a whole lot of other things outside of that. I really don't watch a whole lot of trailers, like, because I pay for YouTube Premium and Twitch Turbo, and I don't hang out on, like, X. I generally do not get access to, sounds dumb, but access to the commercials of what's coming up next, what's new and hot, and all that jazz. And all that jazz. Ah. No. Oh. Will it do? It'll do. You're behind on both Star Wars and Marvel. I've been behind on Marvel for forever. I remember the last one was I saw. Well before Infinity War. I think the last superhero movie I remember watching was probably Green Lantern. But I know I didn't watch every one of the ones before that. My parents are very much into movies. My dad in particular, which is ironic, but that's another story. But they like to watch a lot of movies, so they would have seen just about everything. And I hear, it's good, it's worth seeing, or no, it's not worth seeing. And that doesn't necessarily have to bias me. Center. It doesn't necessarily have to bias me. I just figure, you know, if I'm going to be spending money, let's spend on something I actually want to do. It's off-center. Oh well. Not super happy with that, but yeah. I haven't seen Loki. What else haven't I seen? There's a lot, actually, now that I think about it. Fantastic Shock Fox has seen more than I have. We used to go see a lot of movies together, but we haven't since well before the kids. I just wasn't interested in some of them that he wanted to see, and he also would say, you know, I'm going on a business trip. Is there anything that you really don't want me to see that comes up on the plane? I'm like, no, just watch what you like. So there's a bunch of stuff he saw, and then I decided later on I just didn't have a need to see it, so I never really did. But that doesn't mean that, you know, movies and stuff aren't worth watching. It's just I haven't seen a whole lot that caught my fancy. The most recent Star Wars you've seen was Ahsoka. Yeah, isn't that the one right before the Acolyte, I think? I'm sure that Fox and Star Wars Fan Kit will be watching that. The extended... Where did I put... I may have dumped something in my lab, but I'm not seeing the match to this for the little green. Well, I'll replace it for now because I'm pretty sure I have a spare, and then we'll figure it out later. All right, so I'll admit, the last thing I think I was into in Star Wars was when they had I watched a little bit of Mandalorian, and then when Book of Boba Fett came out, I think I saw like 2 episodes. Okay, this is bugging me, because not just that I have 3 of these left, but I'm wondering, where did they use them at all? I don't remember them. Okay, it was one in the center of that square. I do remember doing that. Oh. Haha. Well, that would be where the flowers went wrong. Okay. I mean, it'll do, but it's not right. Come on. Come on. Pen, pencil. That have pencil. Go. Let's go. The height of my... Okay, where are we? About... maybe about here-ish is the height of my, camera for Facecam, and the thing I just popped off went higher than that, so I think I'm going to cover before I pull the second one off. So for Book of Boba Fett, I watched just a little bit of it, and then just the story was great to know because I figured I needed to for backstory reasons, but I didn't really want to watch it, so I found one of those sites where it wasn't Wikipedia, but something similar, where it just told you the entire synopsis, and I was good with that. Part of it is because some of these more modern Star Wars series, and actually the same problem with a lot of the other films, is I'm a story person. I like story. Glasses. We're good. I like story, and so many films these days seem to be having action for action's sake, rather than for any useful addition to the story. I mean, superheroes, okay, yeah, they fight the villain, that's fine. But sometimes the action in said villain fights goes on for way, way, way too long. Oh, that's better. So now I know what happened to those greens, which means I now have one of each of all these extras. Well, minus the one I put away. That was my spare. Light shields. Googles with glasses. Yes, we have to wear goggles with glasses. Yeah, well, I shouldn't be making mistakes that require me to fire Lego up in the sky. That's kind of dumb. Okay, so this one, got that going. We're on bag 7. It seems like a lot of spare parts, but if we have one of each going on, then I'm good with that. Okay, 7. Last bag. Last bag. So I guess one way of looking at it, in theory, had I had been Johnny on the spot with absolutely 0 issues and started on time today, then I wouldn't have been going as long, I guess. But it still would have been long, because I'm looking at running time almost 3 minutes and 20 as it is now. Or as my clock is telling me, 25 minutes beyond when I should have shut up and moved on. Okay. So this looks like this is going to be the 2nd floor. And we're going to snap onto the base floor after. So let's finish up the front of this. Blue. Gee. Blue, yellow, pink. I think I can talk through that. I used to be a Star Trek fan. Not fanatic, just fan. Like, enjoyed it. But once again, story person. It was not exactly great for story, but it's like TNG, its battles, the Next Generation stuff. Its battles were terrible. Absolutely terrible. So you were there for the story, or you weren't really there for much other than nostalgia. I mean, battles in the original series were terrible as well. So that was fine. But then when you got into Deep Space Nine, I really liked the stories. I enjoyed the character developments. I enjoyed side twists and such. But then they got into the Dominion War stuff with tons of battles, and I watched it, but I didn't enjoy it. I'd like to go back and watch more of it. I got partway into... okay, I got most of the way through Voyager. I really liked Kate Mulgrew as the Captain Janeway. That really worked for me. It wasn't just that it was Captain. I mean, Kate Mulgrew was just good at what she does. Yes, I did. Take one guess, Mike. What the biggest giveaway is I've seen Babylon 5. Suffice to say, the internet screwed me over in terms of spelling. But yeah, so I was watching. I'll get back to that. But I was watching Voyager, and I quite liked it once again until they got into the battle stuff. Then it was lame, as usual. And I get really tired of the Borg. I'm sorry. Can we just, like, dispense with those freaks? I'm done with it. They had a point at one point you could almost have a social commentary coming out of that. But I just got so tired of them. And was really annoyed when they originally introduced the 7 of 9 character. The recovered Borg. But the thing is, it's one thing when you got the Borg suits with all the tubes and the whatnot hanging out. But when you just give her a spandex jumpsuit and call it a day, you know why they added the character. And it was not for personality. Oh yeah, totally. It's totally put on there as eye candy. But I suspect the networks wouldn't let them get away with the kind of outfits you see, or the kind of outfit you saw from Lilo for Fifth Element. You know, you probably just couldn't get away with that. So I suspect that had a lot to do with it. I really do like where they eventually took the character, and that the actors eventually said, no, you know, I'm tired of this whole being eye candy business. Either write my character out, or even, I mean, she got to the point where she said she would even have somebody else play it, but she said there's no way she was going to continue being eye candy for other people. Yeah. Well, and Kate's also like, what am I, chopped salad? Exactly. But I mean, she was there. She actually had brains. And I liked that. Because, I mean, if you take a look at a lot of the stuff in The Next Generation, once again, another example of certain outfits chosen for eye candy. I mean, the internet loves to tell you that the most paused episode, or most paused section of an episode in all of Next Generation was involving Beverly Crusher and Deanna Troy in their workout outfits, which is basically typical 80s tight leggings stuff, but very form-fitting and doing stretches. Yeah, well, I had to tease. But they both got sick and tired of it. I mean, they didn't like... Nobody in the Next Generation liked their costumes. Because, for the most part of the reason you see the Picard maneuver with the jacket, where he keeps repeatedly pulling it down, is because it was supposed to be, in the future, wrinkle-free. And the suits were so uncomfortably tight that when you moved, they shifted. There wasn't much that the actors and actresses could do about it. But Marina Sirtis also put her foot down at one point and said, look, I'm sick and tired of being in this shaped crazy outfit where I have like my boobs hanging out kind of deal. And I said that, we're family friendly, but I said, no, I'm not doing that anymore. And she didn't quit. But that's part of why they wrote her character to end up with a different outfit. She still had to deal with the very tight outfits, like the tight uniforms, but everybody had that at that point. So it wasn't necessarily, I should say, a tongue-in-cheek compromise. But yeah, like 7 of 9 was totally there for eye candy. They tried that with the Kess character as well in Voyager, being there for a bit of eye candy. But apparently the short-haired sort of, what's her name? Julia Roberts, there we go. Funny how that pops up. The sort of short-haired Julia Roberts Tink from Hook style that they went with Kess in Voyager did not hold the ratings eye candy quite the same way as 7 of 9 did. Yeah, the original... Funny enough, I have one of the could be true, could be not true type of stories. You know, it's the type that's put it true. So by now, just about everybody knows that Nurse Chapel, and calling him that sort of thing drives me nuts, but anyways, from the original series was played by Majel Barrett, who was Gene Roddenberry's wife. Was wife before they put her on the series. And initially she didn't like those skirts. She thought they were too short. She wasn't being a prude, but she thought they were a little bit too short. And yet, you can see that later on when Majel Barrett in The Next Generation goes on to play Lwaxana Troi, Deanna's mother, and has very long, flowy outfits. Except, here's the weird twist, except apparently, according to some rumors, it was her idea that the Beta Z, even though they have the same body shape as humans, that their culture gets married with nothing on. And apparently, supposedly some of the guests do too. I can't remember if that was the way the story was supposed to go or not, but in any case, that was supposedly her idea. So on the one hand, she's upset about the skirts and wants longer outfits for her later character. And then on the other hand, she's going completely bat crazy the opposite direction. Does that make any sense? Yes, she was indeed the voice of the Enterprise computer in The Next Generation. Which I think it would have been fun to have an episode where she has more than like 2 seconds of conversation with the computer. That would have been just fun. But it does make you kind of wonder. Some rumors have it that the Tribbles were her idea as well. I don't believe that particular one. Just doesn't work for me. But supposedly the prop department for the Tribbles was somewhat influenced by when people... Ooh. Oh, I see. When people have coats that have like a sort of a fur ruff or fur section around the neck, real or false. A lot of the kids' coats have that now too. It's kind of weird. But they, those fur ruffs, supposedly bundled up. That's what inspired the look of a Tribble. So the episode Trouble with Tribbles in the original series was related to inspiration from somebody's fur coat. Tribbles. Yeah. I liked what they did with them at the end. And there's a few other villain-esque characters on the original series that I would love to wish the Tribbles on. Probably Mud, for one. In any case, where are we going with this? Oh, scroll doesn't really matter. Okay. It does, but it doesn't. What I'm saying is it doesn't matter the direction per se. But yeah, sometimes the eye candy thing goes a little too far for me. I like the stories. I'm not a huge fan of the battles. Never have been. I mean, that's part of why I'm a Trek over Star Wars person. But, I mean, on the other hand, the Star Wars stuff that I found interesting, people are like, what the heck? Show me some more lightsaber battles and phasers. Blasters and stuff. Stop trying to ruin it with story. So, yeah. Some of the series that didn't do all that well, I bet you it's because parts of them had more story. That's my theory. Yes. There we go. That looks like the picture, mostly. Candies. Hike incident. Christopher Pike is one of those characters in Star Trek that, I don't know. It's like a bad egg for me. It just won't go away. Basically, and it's not an explanatory thing, but as I see it, it made sense because the character had been used as the original captain when the pilot of the original series was filmed. Great. You know, that's fine. Have an episode explaining why you switched captains or something along those lines. Or reference him so he's not just gone, because it was a 5-year mission, so you wonder what happened to the guy. He doesn't just disappear. That said... Oops. Yeah. Okay. That said, they did it badly. I mean, I don't know. Pike in his little beefy pseudo-wheelchair thing was just dumb. Like, blink once for yes and twice for no in real world. It's silly. But the fact that they had to bring that character back for the later Trek series, it's like, come on. Guys, stop dredging up stuff. Now, I'm hypocritical on that front. I did not like Pike as a character. I never did. Wished he would have gone the way of the dodo once they were done the storyline that had him in it. But I say hypocritical because that could be said about the entirety of the Picard series. And yet, although I've not seen all of it, every bit I have seen so far, mostly clips, but some full episodes, I still did like. That's why I say I'm hypocritical. It's because I say get rid of the one character and I'm fine with the other stuff. So yeah, hypocritical right there. Lamppost. Kind of a nice looking lamppost. But, you know, and having Pike as a character before the J.J. Abrams reboot, okay, fine. I can handle that for a while. But they just went way overboard. This one? Nice to have a touch where something like a street lamp or sign is actually on the belt is supposed to stand alone beside it. And I think that's the end of that. Alrighty. So, here's the front of our lovely little candy shop. And here's the rear. I figured it would only take till 1/2 but I talk too much. Go. Little splitting displays. Alright, so in summary, put this one over there. And this one in the middle. The other two go. There. Oops. These two. 1 and 2. Alrighty. So, this is what we got done today. Had a great time, finished everything off. Want to say thank you very much to everybody who came on in. Yes, it's a weird time to raid out, but I think it's the smart time to raid out because I'm getting hungry. I don't know about you. Where I am, it's 1:45 in the afternoon, and I normally finish 45 minutes ago. So yeah, need to see who's up, doing what they're doing. And this one, who should I have raided out to? This is the other thing. Friday. Oh, shame on me. 3:45 for you. Wow. Okay, let's push that. See who's live. Yes, we're gonna head over to Bob. He's been up for about 45 minutes, so shame on me for being late getting over there. He's playing Minecraft. He's playing on the Dadrock servers, that's the Bedrock one. It's time to crack some skulls and temple extension. So we're gonna go over there, give him our best, do support him for all you're worth, and we will be back on Monday doing some more Minecraft related stuff. And as we grind inexorably toward the end of the summer for our kids, close to back to school, I don't know what the next couple of weeks will bring in terms of stream schedules or content, particularly when it comes to Fridays. So we'll just see where things go. It's a little up in the air, but generally we're going to try and stick to what we have unless there's a big adventure coming up. So that's it for me. Let's get this raid started to Bob. If you are the type that has suggestions or comments or whatnot, feel free to drop them in the Discord. Pros, cons, otherwise, topics, whatever. And if you are the sort that likes emojis, do stay alert for those. One set is for subs and the other set is for everybody. Let's get this raid started.
Mischief managed.
I hope so. I hope I managed some mischief. I hope we managed some mischief. So, thanks to everybody that came by in. Thank you very much for the new follow, Cowboy Gone Insane. I appreciate that. And also for the clue spending. I want to say thank you very much to our moderation team today, including Fantastic Sherlock Fox and Zerk. We had a fantastic conversation from Mike Burton and Bob, as well as Sly Gamer Scott and Cowboy Gone Insane. So if you were just chilling and hanging out, I wish you the best for your weekend. Please do take a time to stretch, get some fresh air, and I'll see you on the other side. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye for now.
Transfer complete.